Are you a home seller in the Hudson Valley that is thinking about a cash offer, wondering when you drive around, you see the signs and it says cash offer for your house, and you're in a stressful situation right now with the home that you own, and maybe you have tax liens, you're pre-foreclosure, or you're being foreclosed on right now. A lot of different things are going on in your head, and you're thinking, how can I get out of this house fast enough without losing my shirt, without going into bankruptcy, having my house foreclosed upon? Or maybe you inherited a home from a family member and you're thinking maybe a cash offer from one of these people that I see a sign for on this corner of the road would be a good option. For some people it might be a good option, but for the majority of people who have a home that they need to get sold for various reasons quickly, a cash offer is not the best option. And I want to talk to you today just about a few things regarding cash offers that will help you hopefully clarify why it might be a good decision or a bad decision for you. So I'm Carlin Felder, Hudson Upstate team at eXp Realty. I'm a real estate agent and I work with buyers and sellers across the Hudson Valley all the time to help them make the best decision for the home that they own. And that's what I want to do today, is educate you a little bit so you have a little bit of a better understanding about how investors and flippers and cash offers work. Okay, so why accept a cash offer? If you're in a distressed situation and you need to sell your house fast, you might think that it's a good idea. It does happen a little bit faster than a normal transaction here. Normal transactions, from the time you put it on the market to the time you close, the fastest it usually happens if it's a normal mortgage is about 60 days. Usually it takes about 90 days. You put your house on the market, you have an offer accepted, you have inspections, and then you have the contract signed, and that can be about 10 days to 2 weeks. And then the mortgage company gets involved. They do the appraisal, they work with your buyer on their loan, then the title company and the municipal reports are run. And once all the paperwork is congealed into a nice little package that is good to go, then you'll get a clear to close and you're off to the races towards the closing table. But that can really take about 60 to 90 days. Now, a cash offer can go faster as long as everybody's on board and you have good attorneys working with you and a good title company working with you to get everything done as quickly as possible. If the cash is in the bank and it's the proof of funds is there, then it's awesome. We can just go ahead and move forward. If there's no inspection, that's awesome. We can just go ahead and move forward. So that cuts some time out. So sometimes cash offers can be beneficial from those point of view. They will allow you to move forward with the least amount of hassle, usually. For the pros and cons of a cash offer on a house are quick closing times. Maybe it'll cut some time out because there's not the mortgage, there's not the mortgage appraisal. There's some things that fall away when you don't have to deal with a mortgage. There's fewer contingencies. Oftentimes, some cash buyers will just pay for the house as is without the inspection. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes they need an inspection. They want an inspection. Sometimes they want to negotiate after the inspection. So that's, it may happen, it may not. Usually there's more certainty that your house is going to close because your client, the buyer, is paying with cash, so they don't have to go through the mortgage pre-approval, or they're not waiting on mortgage rates to drop, or if the mortgage rate goes up, it might affect them and they can't buy the house. So some of the cons are that you have a cash buyer who wants to negotiate a lower sale price. You have an investor who wants to negotiate a really low sale price. And so those are the main cons, is like the sell price. If you want the top dollar, then don't do a cash offer, or don't accept a cash offer without putting your house on the market. If you put your house on the market and you have a normal buyer who comes through with a large cash offer, that's great. But usually when you put your house on the MLS, you're able to put your house in front of thousands and thousands of eyeballs, thousands of people who are interested in buying the home right now. So the competition increases, so your chances of getting an above list price offer are much greater, especially in this market. Let's see, why a cash offer can be better for you as a seller. Cash transactions can close faster, no mortgage pre-approval. There's less certainty of a deal falling through due to financing issues, and convenience, fewer contingencies. Some of the issues are, which I have seen personally, a seller accepts a cash offer. A seller has multiple offers, but they decide to go with a cash offer. But the cash offer also has a contingency on the sale of the buyer's house. So the buyer's putting their house on the market. So then you have another buyer who's buying that house, who's going to provide the cash that will, your client's, your house is dependent upon the cash from the buyer to go towards the house that you're selling. I've seen it where, excuse me, the buyer, the person who's selling their house to buy your house has an issue with their house. So all of a sudden the cash closing doesn't happen as fast. Well, they have to sort out all the issues with the sale of the other house. So the other potential is that the buyer can now walk away if this contract is dragged out too long and the mortgage rates change, their financial situation changes, they lose their job. So maybe they are knocked out of the whole scenario as well. So you have multiple dominoes that have to fall into place to make a cash offer contingent upon the sale work. So I don't recommend doing that in most cases, but it's really up to the seller to decide. But I highly recommend that if you're faced with a situation of a cash offer contingent upon a sale or a mortgage pre-approval or multiple offers with mortgages, I would recommend really thinking through what's best for you and looking at your house overall to see what the best scenario might be. So one of the things that house flippers and home investors actually do is they look at something called the after repair value, or the ARV. And you may have not heard of ARV if you're just in the normal like buyer seller market, if you're just a residential homeowner selling a house and you're not a house flipper or working with people who do investments on real estate. But the ARV is the value that most of those people come up with to decide whether it's going to be a good investment for them to purchase and then flip. So a lot of times we're thinking as home sellers that we want a house flipper to buy our house to pay cash and we're out of it. But really what you're going to get is somebody who's going to pay a significant amount lower than what your house is worth. They're looking at the after repair value. So they're looking at the price that the house is going to be less of about 30%, and then less the investment of the renovations. So the goal of a house flipper is to buy a house for as little money as possible, put renovation money into it, and then put it back on the market and sell it for market value. So if you're selling below market value, to start, if your market value is 300 and your house goes down here and then that goes even further down, you might even get almost 50% of the actual market value. So, excuse me. So house flippers use the ARV to determine how much they should pay for a property to ensure a profitable return on their investment. And usually they use something called the 70% rule. So the 70% rule is like I said, the price of the house after renovations less 30% of the total ARV minus the repair cost. So the formula is basically this, and you can see that if a home is going to be put back on the market for $300,000 and the estimated repair costs are $50,000, the house is going to basically be $210,000 less $50,000 or $160,000. So the ARV is 30% basically. The estimated current value is 30% less than the ARV minus the cost for the renovations. So you might have gotten $300,000, or let's say you might have even gotten $250,000 for your house. Let's say your house isn't in mint condition and the normal market rate for a house that looks like yours is $300,000, but there are some issues with your house. So let's just say it could be worth really $250,000. Maybe it's really outdated, maybe it has basement issues, or it has foundation issues, or it needs a new roof, or it has a lot of updating that needs to happen. So maybe your house isn't worth $300,000 right now, maybe it's worth $250,000. So with the way the ARV and the investors are going to look at it, they're going to go for as low as they can. So $160,000 is probably what they're going to pay. But if you put it on the market at $250,000, you might actually get $260,000, $275,000 because of competition, because somebody who is not a house flipper but just a home buyer who may look at the property and say, it's got the great bones and I see there's a lot of potential here, and I know that I can live in it and put elbow grease into it over the next 5 years and really bring it to where I want it. So that's a different buyer than the buyer who says, I want to buy this house now and I want to get it for as low as possible. I want to spend 2 months renovating it, updating it, correcting all the issues with it, and then I want to stick it back on the market in 75 days. That's a totally different buyer, and they're looking at speed to market when it comes to the purchase of your home after they get it, fix it up, and flip it. Now, the homeowner who's going to pay closer to market value is looking at something they can live in and spend time putting their elbow grease into and really making it theirs. And they're not looking to They're looking to build equity over time and not build equity in the fastest amount of time. Two different people, two different issues. So really, I guess my main point here, after all this stuff I've talked through, is what's the best solution for you? Do you need the most amount of money, or do you just need to get it off your hands the fastest? So if you need help with that, obviously I'm a real estate agent. I live in Beacon. I work in the Hudson Valley, and I know investors and I know home buyers. I have a lot of home buyers, and I know I can connect you with the person that would be right for you, whether it's a home buyer or a house flipper. I have house flippers on my team. I have appraisers on my team. So we're an appraiser on my team. So I'm really in the best situation, I'm in the best position to really guide you and help you make a decision that works best for you. I can bring in a house flipper from my team who's a real estate agent, a couple of them, an appraiser, and also I have buyer's agents and I have listing agents. So if you want help putting your house on the market and getting the most money for your property, give me a call. I'd be happy to talk to you and help you find out what the best solution for you is. So thanks a lot. Have a great day.